Hey, I'm Alexis. Welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I want to talk about the 4 styles of introversion. You might think there's just like introvert and extrovert. There are actually 4 styles of each. 4 styles of introverts, 4 styles of extroverts. And this comes from Myers Briggs all the way back to Carl Jung's cognitive functions. So going into this video, if you know your personality, like the ISFJ or the ENTP, the letters like that would be very helpful so that you can kind of find yourself within this concept. So the first style of introversion is called introverted sensing. And this is used by the ISFJ and the ISTJ dominantly. And it's also secondarily used by the ESTJ and the ESFJ. So what introverted sensing is, it's taking in the senses and processing them inwardly. So it's remembering how a scarf smelt or how it felt. When you went on a vacation, bringing back souvenirs and putting them on the walls just to remember that. Having loving pictures and spending a lot of time in your mind thinking about how things happened, and kind of when you come home from hanging out with people, you process in your mind and you're kind of remembering the whole evening and spending a lot of time thinking about what's happened. These types are also very good with like common sense, understanding that there are a lot of good things that have come before and really honoring the past. I noticed them saying things like, I got this from my dad. Like, I got my dad's nose, or I got my dad's sense of humor. Just always really hearkening back to the past and understanding how the past has developed and shaped you. So the next function is introverted intuition, and it's used as a strength from the INJ types, the INTJ and the INFJ. It's also secondarily used as a strength from the ENFJs and the ENTJs. And this is all about the intuitions, the subconscious realizations, and this all happens kind of inwardly. It's processing how the individual sees things and realizes insights. It is all about moving slowly and long timelines and weaving through a dark tunnel of the subconscious until you arrive at these treasure troves of insights. It's about shifting your perspective. Maybe it's the perspective of time. So instead of being in this time, kind of shifting your perspective of what it will be like in the future, or envisioning how this path leads to the future. It could be shifting into the perspective of another individual, even an individual that you strongly morally disagree with, or you find yourself very dissimilar to. So it's all about really trying to take something and look at it from every perspective. And after you've looked at the patterns of this object, understanding what it deeply means. It's all kind of about, if you had the surface level of dirt, it's about digging and digging and digging and digging and digging until you get down to the depths. And it's about staying on one topic, maybe even one sentence, and digging and digging and getting deeper and deeper and deeper until you can kind of glean meaning from the subconscious. This is most easily done in like a quiet, dark room where there are no noises, no sounds. It's very quiet, slow, introspective, and it loves asking the question, why? Okay, so the third style of introversion is introverted thinking. And this uses strengths from the ISTP and the INTP. It's also used secondarily as a strength from the ENTP and the ESTP. It's introverted thinking. So it's thinking about, how do thoughts and logic make sense to me? Introverted, like how do they make sense to me? Not what does the group think say, and what do podcasts say, and media, and what do they all say? It's what do I think? Despite what everyone else's logic is and what the group consensus seems to be, what makes sense to me? And it might not be something that, that people like. Sometimes introverted thinking can say, you know what, this might hurt someone's feelings, but I ultimately think it's for the better. So I just need to say it anyways, and I need to say it like it is and be very accurate. But with that being said, they are very precise with their word choice. I've talked to introverted thinking users, and they notice the difference between the words childish and childlike. And when they form their questions, they're very intently. And sometimes they can be somewhat slow to speak because they want to make sure that they're being as precise as they possibly can, so that if the process is good and they are accurate with every step of the way, then they know that there is integrity with the whole venture. These types can be so precise with the way, like the ISTPs and the ESTPs can be so precise with the way that they move their bodies. Very accurate, very good form. It's all about honing and becoming masters of their craft. When they are alone, they are spending time honing the thing that they are working on, and they are usually very good at the things that they do. But when they ask questions, they will ask a question here, and then a question here, and a question here, and a question here. And after all of these precise questions have been asked, they feel like they fully understand a thing. And they normally do very well and in a very in-depth way understand their field. And if you can get them talking about what is in their field, they have mountains of information. Now, you wouldn't necessarily know it from being around them all the time, but when you get them talking about what their field is, they will light up, and all of a sudden their word count will get a lot bigger. And finally, the very last style of introversion is introverted feeling. This is used as a dominant style of introversion for the INFPs and the ISFPs. It's also secondarily used by ENFPs and ESFPs. And this function is all about their inner feelings, called introverted feeling. And it's all about how have events impacted me personally? And what do I feel like my purpose is? What do I feel like is authentic for me to do? What would create inner harmony and inner alignment with what I feel like I'm supposed to do with my life? They're constantly judging themselves based on the metric of morals. Like, did I just do something moral? And with every action that they do, they're kind of questioning, are they doing things that are really in alignment, that are self-expressive, that bring out their identity? Identity is a huge thing for these types, and they really want to know who they are, and they really want to develop that fully. They're very good at tapping into their inner motivations and knowing if they're being authentic or not. They, on a deep level, understand what motivates them and what motivates other people, and if those motivations are good or not. They understand that sometimes emotions can be so complex that it's difficult to describe with words, and so they will often paint or dance or sing or create music. Is very common with these types because these sorts of forms of art can kind of transcend the limitations that the human language has. But with that being said, they also can be authors, and they are very good with words and painting a beautiful picture and really fully describing that. They are very authentic, they are very true to themselves. What you see is what you get, and they are not going to be fake or pretend or be phony. They are going to be 100% true to themselves. But really, the big fundamental thing is values and identity. They have certain values that they will uphold at any cost. So they are very concerned with their values, and they will make sure that their identity of who they would like to be and who they are match up and are in congruency as much as they possibly can make that happen. Those are the 4 styles of introversion. And there are other functions besides those. There are 4 extroverted functions. And like I said, everyone has both. So I'll direct you to my next video that's coming out will be about the extroverted function. So everyone has one of each. Everyone has a introverted function. Everyone has a extroverted function. So it makes you kind of an ambivert. And so the way you couple those 2 functions makes a very unique flavor. So yeah, watch that one. I think it'll be very interesting. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.